皆さんおはようございます。こんにちは、こんばんは。Welcome to the Japanese Easy News Article of the Day for August 6, 2026. 2026年8月6日の今日の記事でございます。For our headline today, we have 夏の高校野球。甲子園で初めて女性が審判をした。Here's our short vocab list from the headline. We have 夏 summer, 高校 high school, 野球baseball, 甲子園. So this is called Koshien in English, very often called Koshien, but it is a famous stadium or tournament where they play baseball. We have 初めて, that is for the first time. 女性, woman or female. Now this is female only used for female humans, not female animals. There's a different word for that. We have 審判 is an umpire or a referee. So jumping back into our headline, we have 夏 which is, sorry, let me make this a little bigger. 夏 is summer. 夏の something of summer. And we have 高校野球. This is high school baseball. So summer high school baseball. 夏の高校野球. And a little space saying this is kind of like a sub headline. And this is all relating to high school summer baseball. 甲子園 で at or by means of at 甲子園初めて for the first time 女性 woman が so this is our subject particle saying the woman is going to do something 審判をした so 審判 is an umpire or a referee in baseball that would be an umpire or we're going to do something to it that marks our object and our verb that we're going to do to this is する which is to do and then that is being put in the past tense so 審判をした審判をした would be they served as an umpire this woman served or was an umpire so in summer high school baseball, for the first time in Koshien, a woman was the umpire. Okay, now we've got quite a long vocab list from the article, but we'll try to get through it as fast as we can. Okay, so we got 球場, which is a stadium or a ballpark. 決める, to decide. 大会, a tournament or a competition. 開会式, is an opening ceremony. 紹介 is introduction. Also 紹介する to introduce something. 伝える to convey or to communicate. Also to tell someone something. 手話 is sign language. 聞こえる is to be audible or to be able to hear something. 動かす to move. Now this is when someone moves something, not when something moves by itself. We have 会話 a conversation. 学校 school. 試合 a match or a game, like a sports match or a sports game. We would call that a 試合. We have 体 is body. 緊張する is to be nervous or to be tense. 助ける is to help or to assist someone. And 終わる is for something to end or to finish.
甲子園球場で高校生の野球の一番を決める大会が始まりました。この大会で初めてのことが行われています。昨日の開会式では愛媛県の高校生2人が大会に出る学校の紹介などを初めて手話で伝えました。手話は聞こえない人や聞こえにくい人などが手を動かして会話をします。そしてこの大会では初めて女性が審判をします。女性の審判は全部で5人です。昨日の試合では埼玉県の森田真希さんが審判をしました。体を大きく使ってアウトやセーフなどを決めていました。森田さんは緊張しましたが、皆さんに助けてもらって無事に終わりましたと話していました。
Alright, let's jump right into our article.
甲子園球場で高校生の野球の一番を決める大会が始まりました。
Okay, so 甲子園球場. This is 甲子園and 球場 ballpark. Literally ball place. If we look at the kanji, 甲子園球場, the Koshien Park で telling us our location where something's going to happen. 高校生 is high school students. No, something of high school students or owned by them. 野球 baseball, so high school student baseball. No, something of that. 一番. So 一番, ban is like number. So 一番 would be number one. So the best, number one. So the best in high school baseball. Or there's going to be a verb that we do something to this number one, marking it as our object. And then that is 決める, which is to determine or decide. So to decide the best in high school baseball. And then 大会 is a large meeting if you look at the kanji, but this is like a tournament. So a tournament. And then you can see we have a verb that connects directly into our noun here. So most of the time that means it is describing this noun. And since this whole thing is an action, this is all describing this noun. So the 大会, the tournament wherein, or the tournament for determining the best in high school baseball. が, so this marks 大会 as our subject of something. It's going to do something or be something, and the verb that it's going to do is 始まる, to begin. And we're putting that in the past tense with ました here. So the tournament for deciding who is the best in high school baseball has begun at Koshien Stadium.
この大会で初めてのことが行われています。
Okay, この we connect to a noun to say this noun, and this noun is 大会. So this tournament で at this tournament, この大会で at this tournament. 初めて, so 初めて is starting or for the first time, and we actually can connect this to another noun if we use no. That's what we're doing here. And then こと is things. So 初めてのこと would be things that have never been done before, or new things. が once again marks this as our subject, so it's going to do something. And then 行われています. So 行う is our verb here, to perform something. We're putting that in the passive form, 行われる, to be performed. And then we're putting that in the ている form to say that it is currently happening. So 行う to perform, 行われる to be performed, 行われています is being performed or are being done. So at this tournament, there are things that are being done for the first time.
昨日の開会式では愛媛県の高校生2人が大会に出る学校の紹介などを初めて手話で伝えました。
Okay, so she said out loud 昨日, which would be the same as 5日, the 5th day of the month, yesterday, the 5th day of the month, の something of or on the 5th, 開会式, which is the opening ceremonies, so the opening ceremonies on the 5th, 5日の開会式では kind of sets it up as our location where something's happening and a topic here. At the ceremony, the opening ceremonies on the 5th, 愛媛県, 愛媛 prefecture の something of 愛媛 prefecture. 高校生, high school students. Then we have 2人, which is 2 people. So 2 high school students from 愛媛 prefecture. が, so they're going to do something or be something. Now, because this sentence is long, the verb that they're going to do is way later in the sentence. We'll get there. Then we have 大会, the tournament. に, we use に to indicate direction with certain verbs, and this time we're using the verb 出る to show up or to be in, to participate in. So 大会に出る, participating in the tournament. And then 学校 is a noun, once again connected to with this verb. So this describes this 学校, this school. So schools who are participating in the tournament. 大会に出る学校. And then something of those schools participating in the tournament with that の 紹介, it's introduction. So introducing or telling stuff about that. So introduction of the schools participating in the tournament. Then we have など. Nado means and things very similar to it. So 紹介など, things like introductions of the schools that are participating in the tournament. Then we have o here, which marks all of this as our object. So the students are going to do something to this object here. And then 初めて, once again, for the first time. 手話, if we look at the kanji here, we have hands and talking. So this is how you say sign language, 手話. And then で, by means of, so 手話で, using sign language. And 伝えました. So 伝える is to convey or to tell someone, or pretty much any verbal communication can be 伝える. So to put this all together, at the opening ceremonies on the 5th, 2 high school students from Ehime Prefecture introduced the schools that are participating in the tournament and other things like that via sign language for the first time ever. 初めて手話で伝えました。
手話は聞こえない人や聞こえにくい人などが手を動かして会話をします。
Okay, so 手話は we have sign language, and then this wa, our topic here for this new sentence. 聞こえない So this is coming from 聞こえる to be able to hear or to be audible in the negative. So unable to hear, and that is modifying 人, which is person. So 聞こえない人, people who cannot hear. や聞こえにくい人. So once again, we have a hito here and then a description of what type of person we're talking about. So this nikui here is something we can attach onto a verb to mean difficult to do that verb or hard to do that verb. And so we once again have kikoeru to be able to hear something, and then kikoe nikui. The nikui is attached to the stem of that verb to mean difficult to hear. So people who find it difficult to hear. And then this ya is kind of like we're listing these two things but not excluding them. There's also other people that we're talking about but not specifically mentioning them. So people who cannot hear, people who are hard of hearing, and other people like that. And often ya and nado kind of mean the same thing, but they're used slightly different, but they can also show up together, meaning and other things like this. Ga, so these kinds of people, ga, they're going to do something. And then te is hands or hands. Te o, we're going to do something to those hands, and that is ugokasu. So ugokasu is to move something. So te o ugokasu, to move your hands. Putting that in the te form. Te o ugokashite, move your hands. And 会話をします. So 会話 is conversation. O, we're going to do something to it. And the thing we're going to do to it is doing it. With suru in the mas form. So 会話をします to have conversations. So for sign language, what sign language is when people who cannot hear, or people who are hard of hearing, or people like that, have conversations by moving their hands, or talk by moving their hands.
そしてこの大会では初めて女性が審判をします。
Okay, そして that's like a then. この大会では already talked about that at this tournament. 初めて for the first time 女性が審判をします. We actually talked about all of that. So for the first time, a woman did the umpiring.
女性の審判は全部で5人です。
Okay, so I was wrong. 女性の審判, so 女性 woman no something of women, or we're describing this secondary noun with this first one. So 女性の審判 would be women umpires. は our main topic. 全部で means overall, if we count all of them, including all of them. 5人です. So 5人, 5 people. And this being is or were, or there still are, I guess. So 5人です. So women umpires in total were 5 people. There were 5 total women umpires at this tournament.
昨日の試合では埼玉県の森田真希さんが審判をしました。
Okay, 5日, she said 昨日 yesterday, but we're going to say 5日 for yesterday the 5th, no something of the 5th or on the 5th. 試合 is a match or game, a game on the 5th. では at the game on the 5th. 埼玉県 Saitama Prefecture, 埼玉県の something of or from 埼玉県 Morita Maki-san. This is a name with the last name first. Morita Maki. So that is the name of one of the women umpires. Gosh, I cannot talk today. Umpire です。はい、3. And that's a polite title for gender neutral, kind of like Mr. Mrs. Right? So 森田真希さんが she's going to do something and 審判をしました。Once again, 審判 umpire を object particle します coming from する and then we're putting that in the past tense. So to do an umpire or to be the umpire, right? So at the game on the 5th, 森田真希さん from Saitama Prefecture was the umpire or served as the umpire.
体を大きく使ってアウトやセーフなどを決めていました。
Okay, so 体 is body. 体を we're going to do something to that body as the object. 大きく so 大きい is large. When we drop that e and add a ku on an e adjective, that's how we use it as like an adverb. So 大きい is large. 大きく is to do something largely or in a large way. Then we'll have a verb after this often. So 大きく使って so 使う is to use, and then we're putting that in the te form to say we're going to use it and something else. So 体を大きく使って meaning she was like going all out, her whole body, pretty much using her whole body. Auto is how we say out, just like in English for baseball. Auto ya, same thing as ya with seifu, seifu being safe at the base. And we have ya and naro saying she called outs and safes and the like other things. Oh, she's going to do those things. And what is the verb she's going to do on those things? It is kimeru, to determine or decide, since the umpire is the one that makes those decisions. And then we're putting that in the past tense and in the teiru form because it is something that happened for a while, but it stopped, right? So the past tense because it stopped, the teiru because we're talking about a period of time when it happened. So 決めていました she was making those calls. So she was making calls like out and safe with her whole body, using her whole body.
森田さんは緊張しましたが、皆さんに助けてもらって無事に終わりましたと話していました。
Okay, 森田さんは so 森田さん Miss Morita or 森田さん wa main topic here. Then you can see we have quotes here followed by と話していました. We'll talk about と話していました. But what is the quote she was saying is 緊張しましたが. So 緊張する is to be nervous, to be tense about something. And then we're putting that in the past tense of する to do this. So 緊張しました to be nervous. I was nervous. So I was nervous が this is however. 皆さん everyone 皆さんに we're going to use this ni with another grammar that we have over here. When we have a verb with the te form and then もらう, that means you have someone do something for you. And in that case, we use a ni. So 皆さんに助けてもらう. 助ける is to help. So 助けてもらう is to have someone help. And then we're using that ni to mark who is helping us or who we're having help us. So 皆さんに助けてもらう to have everyone help you. And then 助けてもらって we're putting that in the te form to say we're not done. We're still going on in this sentence. 無事に終わりました. So 無事 is safety. 無事に means to do something safely. And then 終わる is for something to end. Then we're putting that in the past tense. So I was extremely nervous. 緊張しましたが、皆さんに助けてもらって everyone helped me, or I had everyone help me. I received everyone's help. And 無事に終わりました. It ended safely or ended well. And then at the end of our quote, we have a to, which we use to basically say this was a quote in front of it. And then 話していました. So 話す to say or to speak. We're putting that in the te iru form because there was a point where she was saying this. And then we're putting that in the past tense to say that she did say this. So Morita-san said, I was very nervous, but I received of everyone's help and was able to finish it safely or without event, I guess is one way to put it. So Cool, cool. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for the article today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you can, watch some Koshien. I actually have not watched much myself, but I'm going to try to watch some and enjoy it. See who is the 一番。高校生の野球の一番は誰でしょうか? I guess we will find out. But thank you so much, and I will plan on seeing you around in the other videos and hopefully the streams as well. Those are really fun. So hope to see you there, and goodbye. またね.